welcome to ActorsE chat show on ActorsEntertainment.com. I'm your host, Etienne. ActorsE is a live chat show here from the heart of the entertainment industry, Hollywood, California. And we're here to talk about everything and anything that has to do with the entertainment industry. And today I have a special guest. He's an American publicist, political consultant, former White House press staffer, and founder of Edward Losey and Associates. Please join me to welcome the very talented Edward Losey. Yeah. Welcome to ActorsE chat show, Edward.
Please sit down, everybody. Sit down.
Be calm. Yeah, be calm, right?
Thank you.
You look great.
Thank you. So do you.
Yeah. Well, I went to your website, and you've done so much. And let's talk about where you're from first.
I'm originally from New York. I was born in the New York metropolitan area, and came out here halfway through my life, and it's about 26 years ago, and started in public relations and motion picture public relations, in with Paramount Pictures in New York at first, and wound up coming out here cold.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to be in the entertainment business and wanted to be behind the camera. One time I was in front of the camera. I was doing stage work and all in college in New York, but I wanted to be in publicity. I wanted to be behind promotions of television and motion pictures.
Very impressive. So let's talk about what was your major in college?
I have a Bachelor of Business Administration, and I have almost my MBA at Harvard Business School, but
cool.
I didn't finish. I was in the MBA law degree combination. So in 3 years you would get your LLB and your MBA, but I had to actually go to work with. I was in the insurance business. I was an underwriter. Well, our family owns insurance company, so it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So,
so apparently you're very passionate about the entertainment industry, and you were on camera before, like in college, doing theater plays.
Yeah.
How did you get involved, like really interested with publicity?
Well, when I was in the insurance industry on Wall Street downtown, we would go to happy hour after work waiting for our trains, and all these sharp guys were in there. Older guys that were sharp.
What kind of sharp guys?
They were just like PR guys that worked for Paramount Pictures in the Gulf Western building.
And you overheard their conversations?
Yeah, and we got to know each other, and they invited me to come to the office, and I just thought they were great. So that's how I got exposed to what they do. So I said, I've got to do this. So.
And you've got some mentors to get you started.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I learned it from before I came out here. So.
And let's talk about that picture.
This picture? Oh, Wall Street. I like it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on Wall Street commuting. You know, while I was still in college too, I was going to. I played football at the University of Tennessee. I played NCAA footballs, and I did a lot of work there. And then I transferred to New York, and I was going to college there, and that's how I started intermingling with these sharp guys at Paramount Pictures.
So basically you started in the publicity business in New York.
Yes.
And then with Paramount.
Yes.
So what kind of adventure did you experience at Paramount?
It was basically kid, go get me some coffee. You know? And then it was like, hey, could you hold the fort, because I've got a meeting. Could you hold the fort? And I would start answering the phones for the other guy. Then I would go, oh, okay, well, let's talk about that. And I got familiar with what they wanted to know. So I had an idea, because they were talking with everybody out here in Hollywood, because Gulf Western back in the early 80s and the 70s owned Paramount Pictures. So so I sort of got a little feel of what was going on, and I wanted to get out here. So I went through a divorce, and after that was cleared up, I decided it's time to go.
To come to Los Angeles.
Yes, and I did.
So basically, Hollywood, welcome to Hollywood.
Yes, Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood. So basically, you started from the very basic level.
Yes.
In New York at Paramount.
Yes, I did.
And then you came all the way to Hollywood. What happened when you first landed in Hollywood?
Well, when I got here, the position that was offered to me fell through, and so I went.
What kind of position can we know?
Yeah, it was for promotions and advertising for an entertainment company, and it fell through because they went down the tubes financially. So, so I was stuck out here after I moved, sold my house, and was out here with no
Wow.
job, right? So I lived off the credit
You are
cards.
brave.
Yeah. So anyway, I got a job in the mailroom at a famous public relations firm called Rogers and Cowan, and at that time it was really huge. It isn't anymore, but it was really the place to be.
What kind
And
of position?
the mailroom.
Mailroom.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
how did you really reach out to them?
I just went in for an interview with a guy named Dale Olson, who was just a beloved publicist mentor who just passed away shortly. And he said, "There's nothing here for you." I said, "I'll take anything."
Wow.
And he goes, "Well,
You just really want to do it.
yeah." She said, "The only thing is mailroom, but they're all kids, and you know." So boom, that's what I did, mailroom.
May I ask how old you were at the time?
No. No, I was
Got
in my
into the
I was
mailroom.
in the
'Cause you said-
early 20s.
Early
Yeah,
20s.
early 20s.
So you started in the mailroom.
Yeah.
And you were like distributing the mail.
Yeah, that's
for,
right. Yeah.
For the publicists.
And I learned who was who, and I got out of there.
Wow. And how did you get, who gave you the first big break?
That one, Dale Olson. Yeah. So,
So you went from the mailroom.
yeah, I
and
stayed
then
there for a
to-
while, and then
For how long?
and I did it for the resume, for to have that company's name on my resume. So I would have, cleaned the bathrooms for that, to have
Wow.
that company on
credit.
Rogers and Cowan. So from there, I went to find other work in other boutique agencies, and I had the Rogers and Cowan on the resume. They hired me right away.
They
And
hired
then
you
I
right away.
Chatter question E.
oh
Yes.
Yes, and the chatter says the first time they ever heard somebody really go all the way up after starting in the mailroom.
Wow.
It really does happen.
yeah,
It does happen.
yeah, it does.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I started my own company after stealing half the clients from this boutique agency I was with, and started my own company.
So you got hired from this boutique agency as a publicist.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
And I learned a lot from this fantastic woman. She's no longer with us, and she is up there looking down, and I owe a lot to her. And it's been about 25 years now with our own company, Edward Losey and Associates.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Totally.
yeah.
Well, that was quite a journey. Congratulations.
Yes,
we
we're
have
here.
a fan question
We
for
actually
you.
have several chatter
Several
questions. They appreciate the information. One of the chatters wants to know, Edward, how do you know if a person that says they're into PR is for real or not?
The question is, how do you know if the person?
Is really a good PR person or not?
Oh, I mean, someone that's already a PR person, and you're trying to find one. You're
Right,
trying to.
An actor says, I need PR, and so says, well, I'm a PR person. How do
Yeah.
you know he's for real?
Exactly.
Well, now it's easier because there's the internet to research and to Google him and to see what kind of website they have, and their clients should be listed. So you could call their clients and check on them. It's not that hard now.
From the word of mouth is the
Yeah,
best.
there's a lot of people. When I first started, there were about 100 publicity firms here in the 80s. There's 600 now. So
Wow.
the competition is fierce, really fierce. But don't give up. You could, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have another
It's a lot of
question.
fun.
One of our chatters wants to know, Edward, when should an actor hire a PR person?
Very good question.
And another one in the same vein wants to know, do you ever take beginners?
Okay. Good questions. There's all kinds of publicity firms that have standards. They're listed in the Hollywood Blue Book, which is in the library, and they usually say if they take new people if they're interested. We all like to have experienced actors that are been just signed up for a television series or going to be in a new movie because there's a reason to promote them. And that's when you really need to hire a publicist. So if you have a nothing role, a walk-on role, but it's in a big major motion picture, with Harrison Ford or Tom Cruise, it's still worth promoting. It could put you on the map. If you don't have anything at all, a publicist isn't going to open the doors and get you really anything unless you have some fantastic story of life that you're a ballerina with the Bolshoi part-time, but it's something that you have to do some research on. So there are publicists out there who will just take your money, and I'll promise you the world. We're trying to clean that up in the business, so you got to be careful of that. But you can check with other people. It's not that hard.
Yeah, very good point, and I totally agree with you. You have to have something for the publicist to promote you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
And you're watching ActorsE Chat Show. I'm your host, Etienne, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsor.
The great thing about N Now Media is a one-stop shop. We are soup to nuts. We have writers, directors, producers, animators, motion graphics artists, editors, videographers, musicians, all under one roof. And we are a boutique creative house where we actually do the creative at much more affordable price and have the staff in-house to execute it professionally. My name is John Palacio.
My name is Luz Montez.
My name is Paul Robinson.
I am Jesse Cervantes.
I'm Curtis Peel.
My name is Ben Joran.
One of the most common questions we have from potential clients is, how does it work? What happens when you engage N Now Media to create a video, a marketing campaign?
It first starts with, obviously having the phone conversation with the client, brainstorm with them to come up with a really good concept and a really good idea to push whatever they're trying to do to the next level.
Only with that in mind can we really try to tailor a concept and a script for their exact audience that fits in with their branding and the message they want to tell.
We'll storyboard it out, get a real rough idea of what we want to do.
We'll then present the client with a couple of options, different ways that we could go with some of the things that we've come up with.
And they'll say this is good, and then we'll come back and we'll start animating that or designing it or editing it.
Our clients are generally, like to be really hands-on, and we'd like to hear from you kind of all along the board. There's no surprises.
What we like to do with every partner is we actually create a page on the N Now website.
So they can give feedback, and that way when the time we get to the final product, usually there's not a whole lot more of revisions to do because we've already been working together the whole time.
The big difference is that real personal creative touch.
We have a creative group that can execute that vision, whether it's animation, video, motion graphics, and do so with some unique creative that is custom tailored to that business.
Dream it up. It's video. It's magic. It can happen.
Welcome back to ActorsE Chat Show on ActorsEntertainment.com. I'm your host, Etienne. If you go to ActorsReporter.com, simply click Actors Discounts, and you can find all sorts of fabulous discounts to work with, all sorts of fabulous sponsors. And now we're back with my guest today, American publicist, political consultant, former White House press staffer, founder of Edward Losey Associates, Edward Losey. You
Very
have so
good.
many titles.
Oh, well, I didn't. That's nice of you to put them all up there. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
cool.
you.
Welcome back. So
We're here.
we're talking about we have a lot of questions today actually.
Good.
So many fans questions, and we're going to bring out all the questions one by one.
Great.
And so tell us about this whole PR game, because some people say, oh, PR people they're trying to just make their clients look as beautiful as they are and put
Sure.
them out, promote them.
Well,
tell us more.
yes, I mean, we're a luxury in this business, okay? We're a luxury. We've been accused of being paid liars, and which is what we are. To a sense,
Thank
to
you
a
for your
point.
honesty.
To a point, yes, because let's just say we embellish. We don't lie, okay? We are the messenger between the talent, the service, and the media. Okay, we sell you to the media, whether it's press release, photos, etc., what you're doing, what great talents you have, what you've just been signed for, and there's also other areas that we do, which is called damage control. So if there's a big star that gets in trouble, whether it's a divorce or adultery or embezzlement or something wrong, whether it's true or not, something has to be done, and so we have to jump in and put a
cover
spin
on
on it.
Like,
You
make it
use the
beautiful-
word the spin.
beautiful,
Okay,
right.
that's what we are. So you people out there that get in trouble, I'm here for you. And we're expensive.
Wow. Okay, talking about expensive, so May I ask, how much do you normally charge?
Well, public relations fees are retainers. So we're hired like a monthly retainer. We don't take a percentage like an agent or a manager. So depending on what the client wants, if it's an actor, okay, it could be anywhere from, depending on what kind of deal you can make. Everything is negotiable, but the average is between 2,500 to 5,000 a month. The best, big stars that are on big television shows and are in great demand. The phones are ringing. We want this interview. We want her here. It's a lot of time and work. So you're charging around 5,000 a month. Somebody that's sort of starting out or has something good to do, like a walk-on in a motion picture or a television show. I mean, I've negotiated it down to anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 a month, and it's usually a 3-month campaign. So they'll ask you for 90 days. Okay.
So
for a
basically,
3-month
like
campaign.
for 3 months, like
Yeah.
for trial period.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's all you need. So let's say you get a, you get a shot at being on, Hot in Cleveland. Okay. So we have a client that just did Hot in Cleveland. Shirley Jones, the Oscar-winning actress, who's our client, is doing guest spots on Hot in Cleveland. And of course, we had to send out press releases about it and coordinate all the fan clubs and that she was cast in this. Okay, and so the retainers are higher for that. Also, new.
That's
There's
Shirley.
there's a nice shot of Shirley. That was
Shirley.
taken this year actually. Doesn't she look great? We now I lost my chain of thought. We were talking about
We're talking about how much we charge for clients.
and then we were talking about what to negotiate what it is.
Okay, we have a fan question for you.
Question.
Yes, Edward, one of our chatters says you must know a lot of the entertainment industry peeps. Tell us about that.
The peeps.
Yeah, who do you know in the entertainment industry? Like, here's some pictures.
We'll show some pictures.
Tell us about the pictures.
That's you on the right?
Well, that's the great Debbie Reynolds, who is just came out with her book called Unsinkable, and she is one of the icons of golden Hollywood that's still working like Shirley Jones is. That's a picture of it was a party they had where you had to wear all white. This was back in the 80s, one of my first reception. And on the right, the blonde guy on the right is Dennis Cole, who was one of the great song and dance and actors, and he was married to Jacqueline Smith from Charlie's Angels. And the guy on the left was Brett Clark. And there's my pal Vanna White, who I did some work for originally when she just started out, when nobody knew who she was. And that's, where'd that come from? That's Ursula Andress. Ursula Andress and I were dated after she broke up with Harry Hamlin. This was back in the 80s also. Who is that guy on the left? Anyway, these are coming fast. Oh, that is the A.C. Cowlings. That was O.J. Simpson's best friend who saved his life and drove the white Bronco. And that's District Attorney Alan Jackson, who was successful in convicting the murderer, Phil Spector, for killing our client and my pal, Lana Clarkson. That's the great actress Barbara Rush, who I was madly in love with. Look at her. I mean, she is an icon. Started in the 50s. That's the great journalist from Vanity Fair, who covered lots of the trials we were involved with. That's Dominic Dunn. That's at the Night of the 100 Stars Oscar party on the red carpet, and I'm wearing a lapel pin there in honor of Lana Clarkson. And that's the dog. And this was before the show started, and we did a publicity campaign for him. We flew him in from Hawaii, and shortly after that, he got his big show. This was for a movie premiere about hunting down some criminal, so we did a publicity stunt by flying him in. This was Farrah Fawcett very soon before she started really getting sick. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. And that's our client. That's one of the Hiltons. That's Francesca Hilton, the only child of Zsa Zsa Gabor, who is in a constant battle with the phony Prince of Bel-Air, Frederick von Anhalt, who is the stepfather of well, she doesn't consider it, but with all the shenanigans that are going with her, we represent her in her legal battle against that weird person. This is an early picture of Larry Hagman at the peak of his career on Dallas. And is that a wig I'm wearing, or is that my hair? Jesus. Oh, God. This is one of the most beautiful women in the world. She starred in the first Star Trek movie, Persis Khambatta. She had the shaved head. She was the half-human. She was a Leah, okay? If you remember, if you're Trek fans, Persis Khambatta. She died under mysterious circumstances in Bombay. I think she was murdered.
Wow.
Although the coroner, they said it's a long story.
Oh.
This is my pal Tina Louise, who was Ginger on Gilligan's Island, and we had an early relationship, and we remained friends for almost 30 years. This was this year at the Jewish Film Festival with Elliot Gould, who came out with his picture Dorfman, which is so funny. It was the opening, the closing night of the Los Angeles Jewish Film Festival. And that's my pal Anna Nicole Smith, who left us way too soon.
Yes.
And she was a riot. And that's an early picture of Jay
Jay
Leno.
Leno?
He had just started the show. It was the first year after Carson
So he was your
left the
client
show.
before too?
No, he's just a pal, and of course we book our clients on the Tonight Show over
Cool,
the years. So,
very cool.
and he's also a car collector.
Right,
My client
exactly.
George Barris, who built the Batmobile and is a big car collector and
Yep.
is very famous for. They're really tight. They're close friends.
Yeah, we love Jay Leno.
Yeah, and that's Olivia Hussey, who starred in Romeo and Juliet, the original movie, and that was Persis Khambatta on the right. Now this is one of the great TV stars and an Oscar-winning writer. That's Renee Taylor. She starred in The Nanny. She played the mother with Fran Dresser, and now she's on a show called Happily Divorced on the
yes.
TV Land channel with Rita Moreno, and with Fran Dresser starring again. And her new play is opening soon called My Life on a Diet, which is going to go to Broadway. It's
Good for her.
hilarious, very Nora Ephron.
Good for her. We have
Yeah.
a question.
Yes, someone says, tell us a little bit about what you do at the Night of 100 Stars.
Well, the Night of the 100 Stars is one of the 3 big Oscar parties
Yep.
on Oscar nights, and it's at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and it's a lovely, elegant party with over 200 stars who are former Oscar winners, former Oscar nominees, television Emmy stars, TV acting stars, and it's going on simultaneously with the other 2 parties, which is, of course, the Vanity Fair party and the Elton John party. But for pure number of stars, we have the most stars that come out. And it's my client and celebrity pal and producer, Norby Walters, it's his private party. And we know that, and we have over 300 media outlets that cover it,
Yeah.
including you guys, including
Yeah.
your show.
Including
And
actress reporter.
yeah, Pepper
Yeah.
J, you remember her?
Of
Pepper J,
course, yeah,
she-
hello Pepper, yeah.
She shows up.
And Norton's son, Richard Water, is a good friend of mine. So,
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
okay. There you go.
So we have some connections
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's Richard and Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Yes.
cool. Very cool. You're watching ActorsE Chat Show. I'm your host, Etienne, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, I am Judith Jones. If you are looking for photographs, which a lot of you are, let's face it, we need photographs every day, actors, models, even if you're just, the milkman, you need photographs, okay? You need to look good. And if you want to look good, you've only got one man to go to, and that's John Michael Ferrari. You see, I needed to look good. So I went to John, and he basically took me to the most beautiful place in LA and took these wonderful photographs of me, and I really didn't even recognize myself because I just looked, let's just face it, I looked stunning. So if you want to look stunning like myself in those photographs, go to him. He will make you look beautiful. If you're pretty, he'll make you look prettier. If you're not pretty, he'll make you look pretty. John Michael Ferrari. That's all you need to know. So go to imagesbyferrari.com. That's the website, imagesbyferrari.com. And you can check out all his photography and you can contact him there. You can look at a picture of me. He directed me, because if you need direction, which, hello, I do, he directs you too. So go and check that out, imagesbyferrari.com. You'll love it. You'll look great. Check it out. Bye, everyone.
Hey, welcome back to ActorsE Chat Show on ActorsEntertainment.com. I'm your host, Etienne. If you go to ActorsReporter.com and simply click Actors Discounts, and you can find all sorts of fabulous discounts to work with all sorts of fabulous sponsors. And now we're back with Edward Losey, a great publicist.
Thank you.
And
I like
political
that.
consultant.
Yeah.
And former White House press staffer. And founder of Edward Losey and Associates. And we have a lot of questions for you. And fans are really curious about your political career. 'Cause
Questions? My agent
political.
didn't say questions. I get paid more for questions. No, okay. Okay. Oh.
Yes, we do have chatters, Edward, that would like to know more about your political career. What White House was one of the chatter questions. What did you do? How did you get that position? They're very interested.
Very interesting.
Okay, great. I had already established my firm. It was already well known, so it's all who you know. Okay, you have to have the talent too, but it's also who you know, like this. So there was someone in the White House who called a third party, friend of mine, saying that we've got somebody sick on the president's visit. This was President George H.W. Bush. This was back in 1990. And he was coming to Los Angeles and then to Hawaii to meet with the Japanese Prime Minister. Can you find somebody that's a publicity guy that knows the media market? Mm-hmm. Yes, and they recommended me. So within 1 day, I shut down my office and was on my way to Washington.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it was a wonderful time for. Although we lost to the Clintons, I was back with the PR firm again. So, but it was tons of fun. I've got all kinds of media contacts from it, way up. So like Roger Ailes, who's the head of Fox News, who was a consultant to the president.
And that's you.
Oh, and there's a photograph. Yeah, that's with Air Force One and with my clipboard, which everybody wanted to be on, because that clipboard was who was going to greet the president on the way out, off the plane. We did a lot of the departure and arrival ceremonies, and then we did a thing with the press pool. The press pool meaning what press are being designated to fly with the president, either in Air Force One or on the press planes, and then the entourages.
But you were on the Air Force One.
Yes, I was on, and the press plane too. It all depends on how much space there was and who was traveling with the president.
Nice.
But we were an advanced team. We would also fly into cities and set up the press office, because there was 50 or 60 traveling press that go everywhere with the president. And the advanced team is made up of Secret Service people, communications people, the medical corps, if anybody in the White House gets sick. Also the military attaches who carry the nuclear codes in case we have to destroy the world. It was just a fantastic time. Lots of traveling in the middle of the night on military planes. That's a shot of me in the Brady press room in the White House. That's baby Edward.
Baby Edward,
Yeah,
as a spokesperson for the White House.
Gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yes, that was a good time. And I still stay in touch with the press secretary, who was Marlon Fitzwater, who was our overall boss. And I was very low on the totem pole there, but it was a heck of an experience. And there's not much money when you work in government, but I did it for God, country, and the resume.
Right,
Again.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's smart, how smart you are. Yes.
Oh, there's an article about consulting. So I've consulted with a number of people there. You can see it's Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, and so we'll work for the Democrats too. So whoever pays us will work for. So we
Doesn't
consult with
matter.
the media, like
It's
what's
all
hot.
America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've done so much like for political figures and also celebrities, actors. Which PR campaign is your favorite?
Oh, I like events. You know, we just did. There's a. That's Sheriff Lee Baca of Los Angeles, a very controversial sheriff, and we did a press conference for him a while back when he was proposing a 1/2 cent sales tax for all of us to pay to get more police officers on the streets. It was defeated, but you know, which it's very hard for people to vote for more taxes and this. But we did that. We did that, and that's a picture of my staff at an event, which you know, to answer your question. We like events because it's a lot of time and preparation for it, and then when it's done, it's over, and we move on to the next project.
So you're talking about, like, for example, red carpet events?
Yeah, red carpet events, motion picture and TV premieres, book signing parties. We do a lot of book publicity for not only just celebrities, but for any author that wants to get reviewed or get their book out there and sell books. And I love books. I love promoting books.
Yeah.
We've worked on Debbie Reynolds' book. We're working on Shirley Jones's book. You had a guest on the show, Brenda Dixon, who we're promoting her book. There's lots of books over the years. I mean, hundreds of books we promote.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
authors, think of us when you want to promote your book.
Right, exactly. So talking about live events, for example, red carpets, I mean, I've been to a lot of red carpet events, and
I bet you have.
And constantly I saw publicists, you know, they escort their celebrity friends or actors walking on the red carpet. Have you ever done that? A lot.
Well, yes, if my, there's Brenda Dixon's book, My True Hidden Hollywood Story, which is coming out now, and it's a really, it's a blusher. You'll blush when you read it.
Wow.
It's a good inside
Some
story about.
inside deep secrets.
Yeah,
huh?
it's what the good, bad, and the ugly in that book, and what
Wow.
happened to her. Yeah, it's a great read. But back to the other about events. Yes, you'll see people raising signs up with the name of their star on it, right?
Yeah,
At the
yeah,
red
yeah.
carpet,
Yeah.
and that's something new. Actually, we started that. We started that. We were the
Very
first
cool.
ones to bring a sign.
I love that,
And
actually.
and all of the reporters were like, "Wow, I wish everybody else would do that," right? And they
Exactly,
start
so we
photographing
know.
the sign as well, because the old days it was from memory, and then the embarrassing question to the actor, "Well, who are you?"
Yeah.
Right in front of everybody else. So it's better that you have the sign to tell them exactly who it is. So we started that concept.
Exactly.
But-
Question.
One of the chatters wants to know, how has promotion changed for books now that there are very few bookstores?
Okay, 60% of all books now are we don't even like to use the word self-published. They're independently published. So you have to do the promotions on your own book. Even major New York publishing houses now, like Simon and Schuster or Scribner's or Brown, unless you are, you know, Stephen King or Danielle Steele, you're not going to get a budget from them to promote your book. So authors, you need to budget, you need to hire book publicity people if you're going to get your book reviewed, or anybody. They have book signing parties, to do a social media campaign on it. You need help, okay? And that's what we do. And there's all different types of campaigns, negotiable, from $1,000 a month to, you know, up to $5,000 a month, depending on if you're doing a multiple city book signing tour, or if you just want to stay in one city and promote from one base, which most people do. So you definitely have to promote your own book these days.
Wow, very good information. Now I want to talk about some of your celebrity clients. One of them, Lana Clarkson.
Lana Clarkson.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she got murdered.
Lana Clarkson was murdered by record producer Phil Spector on February of 2003 and changed my life forever. She was a lifelong
And
friend.
that's Lana.
There's a picture that we took of her early in her career. That was in 1982. and she has her trademark black gloves on. She always wore those. And she was an actress and a comedian and really sharp. And she made a living at it for 25 years as a pro. And she, you know, as most actresses do, the work gets less and less, so sometimes you have to supplement your income. So she had just gotten a job hired by Dan Aykroyd and the people that owned the foundation room at the House of Blues. So she was the maitre d'. She wasn't a cocktail waitress. She was somebody who was diplomatic and beautiful and knew how to handle people. So when this monster showed up on February 3rd, when they were closing at 2 in the morning, he was just, you know, just totally filled with drugs and alcohol. And she said, "We're closed." "We're closed, ma'am." Lana thought it was a woman because he looks like a little like a woman. Okay, see, with a hair like that, but his hair was even longer when he showed up and greasy, and he looked like a woman that night. So Lana said, "Ma'am, we're closed." And from that moment on, he locked into her and he wanted to kill her. That's what I really think, and it's what happened. So he told her whatever she had to tell. It's an absolute total disaster. Now, the movie, can we talk about the movie and what we're doing?
Sure.
Okay. We are protesting this horrible movie from HBO called Spector, okay? Now, this movie is based upon the fallacy of the defense, the people who tried to defend Phil Spector. And the attorney, the female attorney, sold this to the writer David Mamet, who has no scruples whatsoever, and then sold it to Barry Levinson, who has no scruples whatsoever. And HBO, Suits, allowed this to be made, no scruples at all. And the movie makes it look like Lana Clarkson killed herself. Okay, blew her brains out. Okay, a beautiful woman doesn't shoot her face off, you know, if you're going to kill yourself. But that was their defense, that she killed herself because she was turning 40.
Wow.
That was the defense at his house. And so it was all proven, it was all shown, forensics, that not only did he kill her, but he tortured her first. He pistol whipped her, knocked her teeth out, jammed the gun in her mouth.
Oh my God.
You know, she had bruises all over her body. She was trying to get out. She had her bag, her shoulder bag over her. She was trying to get out the house so the limo driver could take her back. He had they came there in a limo. So he invited her back to the house, could have been for a party, whatever he told her to get her into the limo to go. She was exhausted and tired, but he convinced her to go to, you know, wherever. Probably, we're going to go to a party. You're going to meet a lot of people in the business. That's the way he was. He was a con artist. So she died over it. And we're protesting this film. We don't want any Academy members to vote for an Emmy for this. Have some scruples. Look at it. It's not about the acting, okay? It's you know, you've got the best actors in the world at it, so it's going to be tough to have some character here. You've got Al Pacino, and you've got Helen Mirren and Jeffrey Tambor. I mean, those are the biggest actors you can get. They're actors. They'll do anything for money, okay? So I don't care about their scruples there. But it's shame on HBO and shame on David Mamet for putting this lie up there. It murders the truth, and it hurts people still alive today. Our group is called the Friends of Lana Clarkson, made up of Academy members, media people, hairdressers, casting directors, people that knew and loved Lana Clarkson. We don't want HBO to brag about any Emmy nominations. That's all they care about. So think about it.
Wow. And also, I want to talk about, because you actually went to the court for this too, right?
We were in the courtroom.
Experience? Yeah,
there was 2 years of trials. We were in the courtroom every day. The Friends of Lana Clarkson, there's about 100 of us, on and off. And it took 7 years for this monster to get to court. He kept himself out spent close to $7 million in legal fees before it went to court until Alan Jackson outwitted the defense and successfully prosecuted this monster. So he was convicted 4 years ago. He's been in prison for 4 years. And his wacky, there's a picture of Alan Jackson making a point to the judge, Larry Fidler. He was brilliant. This guy was brilliant. Yes, this is Alan Jackson, the prosecutor, who's part of our group, the Friends of Lana Clarkson. So, you know, we were so happy that he was put away. And then when this motion picture came on, when I read about it in a Variety 2 years ago, I almost fell off the chair. I was so upset, and so many other people.
Yes.
So do the right thing, folks. You know.
Wow.
Don't vote for any Emmys. It's going on right now. The Emmy voting, it's not worth it. Okay.
Wow. And you're watching ActorsE Chat Show. I'm your host, Etienne, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Over her long career, Nina Foch appeared in classic films such as Spartacus, The Ten Commandments, and An American in Paris. She received an Academy Award nomination for her performance in Robert Wise's Executive Suite. In 1965, Nina Foch arrived here at USC to begin teaching directing, and I was lucky enough to get into one of her first classes. Even as she continued acting in film and television, Nina's passion for teaching lasted for over 40 years. Her course was immensely popular because she developed her own unique style, drawing on her experiences studying with Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler, and Uta Hagen, and being directed by such icons as Vincent Minnelli, Stanley Kubrick, Cecil B. DeMille, and Otto Preminger. As I began directing, the tremendous value of her teachings became evident and how important it was to preserve them for future generations. We became close friends, and at a cinema department event, we ran into my former classmate, George Lucas, who invited us up to Skywalker Ranch, where we discussed creating a DVD of her course. He agreed to finance it, and on January 10th, 2002, we began taping an entire semester using a crew of USC film students. We filmed for 8 hours a week for 15 weeks, and this is the result.
Okay, so what are we going to do this semester?
Welcome back to ActorsE Chat Show on ActorsEntertainment.com. I'm your host, Etienne. If you go to ActorsReporter.com and simply click Actors Discounts, the website is out now, just click Actors Discounts and you can find all sorts of discounts, work with our all sorts of fabulous sponsors. And now we're back with Edward Losey, the great publicist. Okay, so Edward,
thank you.
You've done so much, as we talked about, and then we just talked about the tragedy of Lana. And also, you got involved
Lana Clarkson.
Yeah, Lana Clarkson. And you also got involved with, in a big case, Michael Jackson, right?
Yes, well, you know, part of what we do is legal public relations, which we really didn't talk much about. We, high-profile cases in the courtroom, all these cases, who's in the courtroom? Court reporters. There's that's a whole genre of media that's different. All they do is report about the court cases and what's going on. We have to, if we're representing the defendant or the plaintiff, we have to provide information, you know, to the news, and especially if they're getting it wrong. A lot of times, there's a lot of reporters out there that don't do their homework, that are very damaging to people. You know, instead of doing their research, they'll listen to a third party and put something wrong out there, which is devastating, especially if a jury is reading the papers, which many of them are.
Right.
So we have to be on top of that. So we're retained by law firms. We have about 20 law firms we represent, as well as individuals who are, you know, either defendants or plaintiffs. So some of these cases are high profile. I've already mentioned the Phil Spector murder trial, but we've been involved with a lot of other ones, like the Jacksons. Let's talk about the Jacksons for a second, okay? Michael, great talent, okay, but a slave within his own family. We don't want to talk about whether he's guilty or not of, you know, of being a drug addict and being a child molester. That's different. You're a product of your parents, I think. People are a product of their parents. So Katherine Jackson and Joseph Jackson are very controversial people who, first of all, do not pay their bills, okay, sue people for no apparent reason at all, are so greedy that their children, they can't even keep their children together on it. And we've been involved in a number of cases with them. One of them, very earlier on, was a case called Berwyn versus Michael and Catherine, and Joseph and Catherine Jackson. And what they did was terrible. It was like a white collar fraud. They ripped this family off by with fraud, and it went into the courts, and it was about $4 or $5 million that they ripped off from this family. Wow. This is Catherine Jackson. I can say this because it's in court. It's not defamation. So they were sued, and they lost. So the Jacksons lost this case, and they have to pay this family $5 million. They refuse to pay because they have so much money. They don't have to pay, and it's a civil case, so they're not going to go to prison. So it's like they have so many. When Michael Jackson died, he was $400 million in debt, and a lot of it had to do with the parents and the people not paying their bills, doing concerts, doing record deals. Anyone that deals with the Jacksons, it's a crapshoot whether you get out of it or not. You may not get your money, and that's based on real live courtroom. What I'm saying is all backed up. So Jacksons, why don't you pay your bills? Pay Gary Berwyn the $5 million you owe him. Okay, all right. You got the money now, so why don't you pay him? Right? It's been almost 19 years. Pay the guy.
Wow. We have a question for you.
Yes, let's
Okay.
talk about Edward Losey's websites. Let's help people direct where they would be. So first we have.
Well, there's the website www.lozipr.com. That's our main site, and we're on Facebook and we're on Twitter and
Your YouTube channel.
and on the YouTube channel too. There's some videos and things up there that are
Yeah.
somewhat interesting, but not like yours. Look
And
at
that's
you.
my Twitter
Oh,
page
yes.
at ETN.
Very
Actors,
nice.
And that's my fan page. I just created in
Excellent.
April
Who
this
is that?
year.
Who is that with
Snoop
you?
Dogg.
Oh, that was Snoop.
Yeah.
He's all covered up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
interviewed Snoop Dogg exclusively for China.
All right.
And it was very, very exciting.
Excellent.
And Edward, thank you so much. And I so much enjoyed talking to you. And thank you so much for sharing with us.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And thank you for all of our viewers and chatters for joining us on ActorsE Chat Show. We're here from Monday through Friday from Hollywood, California. And want to see all of our today's show, just go to ActorsEntertainment.com and put the talent's name in the search box. For example, today is Edward Losey. And visit Actors Entertainment on imdb.com to see some of our 1,000 plus entertainment industry guests on ActorsE Chat Show. And please follow Actors Entertainment on Twitter at ActorsEntertain. And join us on Facebook at Actors Entertainment fan page. And don't forget to like us. Click the little check mark. And we'd like to say a special goodbye to Stickcam.com, who closed its site recently. Thank you, Stickcam, for more than 4.5 million Actors Entertainment viewers. And stay tuned for our Actors Reporter animation, which won the Best Animation by the Telly Awards. Great job, and Now Media and Pepper J Productions. Let's hold it together. We'd love to thank the Academy. Thank you so much. I'm your host, Etienne. Mwah. Bye.
What's that? ActorsE Chat Show? Happens to be my favorite. In the morning, I want nothing but a cup of coffee, a bottle of Kahlua, 6 naked girls. Wait, no, that's not right. ActorsE Chat Show.
Oh my gosh, hey, big Hollywood starlet that just happens to be walking by. Yes. I'm not from around here, but I want to be an actress just like you. What do I need to know? Kid, let me tell you. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a naive newbie like you, there's one thing you need to know. To get my first job, I lived in a slum, beat out 50 other girls to play a drunk bum.
I cried.
My first agent charged me 30%. Working 3 jobs and I couldn't pay rent, but I'm an actor.
She's an actor.
A shark gnawed my leg on a B film in Sydney. To pay for the stitches, I sold my left kidney. I finally made a union, their rules were complex. Their piles of paperwork fogged up my specs. But I'm an actor.
She's an actor.
I'm an actor. Well, that's rather disturbing, but what's the one thing I need to know? Don't listen to the critics. Don't follow all the tabs. Forget that sleazy photog and the agent that's got crabs. Go to Actors Reporter. ActorsReporter.com. Learn the tricks and the secrets without all the sweat. An info-packed one-stop shop. It's free and on the net. Actors Reporter. ActorsReporter.com.
How can they help her?
Career cues, union news, makeup woes, advice from pros, insurance tips, choosing scripts, everything at your fingertips. Actors Reporter. ActorsReporter.com.
I just got a call back.
I'll do it.
Oh, hello. I'm Mary Jo Gruber. Thanks for joining us on ActorsE Live Chat Show. I'm just one of your ActorsE hosts, but as you can see, I'm also the ActorsE Live video editor, which means that I'm here, even when you don't see me. ActorsE is here to chat with you Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Hollywood time, as I like to call it. Our guests include actors, directors, producers, writers, singers, comics, and others that are all in the entertainment industry. You can see previous shows at www.actorsentertainment.com, and be sure to check out our guest index to find your favorite celebrities. See you next time. I'm working.